Right, let's get this party started. That, we got this here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and good morning. Once again, I have Mia on my lap, so I'm a little inflexible. Here you are. Hey, Mia. I don't think you could see her, but she's right here. You could see her shade right there on my chest. Yes, you're here this morning with me. You've been jumping up here every morning that I've been here this week. I appreciate that. Good morning, everybody. Let me say hello to everybody. You guys may want to say hello to Mia, Brian, Arnulfo, David, Art, Timothy, Tom, Rick, Vernon, David, Jill, Bill, Brian, Robert, Kevin, Richard. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Harry. We got Robert. We got Mike. We got Kirk. Good morning, Cam. We got Jesse. We got Christian. We got Ray. We got Susan. We got Dr. Serena. Good morning, my actuary. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope you guys could hear me okay. I know you guys could see me. Is that it, Mia? You're leaving me? All right, let me usher her out of here and then we'll get busy. Girl. She's been coming here every morning. She's been coming here every morning to say hello to me before I start the show and staying with me for about half an hour, which is really great. Kirk, Cam, Jesse, Christian, Ray, Susan, Dr. Serena, Jody, Devin, Henry, Jeff, Dave, John, Patrick, Kathy, Rick, Penny. Good morning, Penny. Good to see you. CJ William sending me good news about Landman yesterday. Cheered me up. Thank you, William. I appreciate that. I love that show. Peter, Gregory, Coach Ruben, Corey, Gregory, Keong, Mark, Stephen, Richard from Puente Gorda, Nathan, Robert. Good morning, Sherman, Eduardo, Doris, Mark. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Can't believe Friday's already here. Real quick, as you're coming in here, please take a second to take the cog wheel, the little cog wheel at the bottom, the little roundish kind of a wheel, and switch your settings to 1080p. It's coming in November, Richard. Yeah, 1080p. Just switch it over to 1080p. And if you don't mind, please hit the thumbs up, the like button once below. Just hit it once. If you don't mind, if you don't want to do it, that's okay too. It's not a big deal. But it means it helps Google put us higher on the list. I guess that's what it means. Edgar, good morning. Deanna, good morning. Mike, good morning. Javad, good morning. Happy Friday. Bob, yeah, that's right. Angie, good morning, Angie. Peter, Michael, we'll be starting in just a minute. Usually I give the first few minutes to start. Hope you guys are doing well. How many of you saw my note yesterday? How many of you saw this note yesterday? I got about 30, 40 emails acknowledging it. How many of you saw this note yesterday? I wrote it yesterday at about 5:18 about your mind is what stops you from being consistently profitable trader. Did this resonate for I posted it in two Telegram channels. I figured two was enough. Did this resonate with you guys? Richard says your overbought calculation using ATR and the ADA. Yeah, it is very useful. Thank you. Okay, now I want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys something. Okay. This is a quote from this is from Stanley Druckenmiller. Stanley Druckenmiller is considered top three trader in the world. He used to trade for George Soros. He's a self-made billionaire. He didn't start with any money. He used to sell hot dogs in college. Didn't have any money. He's a billionaire now. He doesn't trade options. He trades the underlying, and he averages 30% a year, which is more than Warren Buffett every year now for the last 20 years straight. He's a beast. Okay? I want you to read this. This is from him. I want you to read what I wrote right here. And then I want you to read what one of the greatest traders of our generation said. Master your emotions, not just a strategy, not about your IQ. Staying calm when the market tests you. Emotional control separates consistent winners from impulsive losers. Your mindset is your greatest edge. Your mindset is your greatest edge. Now, look at what I wrote right here. Your mind is what stops you from being long-term, consistently profitable. You could either believe me, you can believe Richard, or you can believe Stanley Druckenmiller. But I promise you one thing. Me putting you in contact with Richard is not going to make you profitable. You doing this is going to make you profitable. Capiche? How many people do you want me to how much evidence do you need here? How much evidence? Now, just so you guys know, I've gotten emails, a few emails. It's got to be something that Richard knows that you've taught him that we don't know. It must be something that he's figured out. I'm missing something. Yeah, you are. This is what you're missing. It's right here. I gave it to you. Now you know. Now the secret is out. It's out of the bag. The difference is you. It's how you process information. Richard, that's not the point. The point is, do you remember when you and I were doing a live class? Good morning, Martin. So Richard and I interviewed Richard. When I met Richard for the first time in person, I interviewed him for about an hour. And that interview is available for anybody who's in the pit or Pro Trader Dashboard and probably Alpha Zone Pro too, if I had to guess. The point is, if you think Richard does anything different than what I teach you, then I've got a big bridge to sell you. Requirement is success in learning to overcome failure. You must learn to tolerate it, must never accept it. Exactly. Yes. So for anybody who's sitting there and going, I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. If I just had that little edge, if I just had that secret setup that Roger gives, it's got to be something I'm misinterpreting. Yeah, it is. It's you. Look inside of you. Before you go looking at anybody else, look inside of you. Okay? I want you guys to understand that. Right. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Jeff, unfortunately, anybody who's a successful trader knows that I'm 1,000% right. Now, do you know the difference a setup makes versus this? 95-5. Remember what I said in trading, it's not 80-20 principle. It's the 95-5 principle. 95% of it is all of the things that you think you need to know. 5% of it is stuff that I'm telling you need to know. That 5% overcomes that 95% by a huge factor. Yes. Yes. Hey, and you're doing great, Richard. You're doing great. You'll get past the 100,000 mental block and you'll get to about 250,000. That's the next. And then you'll get to about 1 million. And then you'll kind of slow down around there because you're going to have start having some liquidity issues. I know how this works, Richard. I've done this before a few times. So folks, I want you to reread this. I want you to reread this like 30 times. I want you to memorize this. Because this right here, this little note is what separates me, Richard, from people like you. And I'm just saying if you're not a successful trader, I just want you guys to understand that, okay? All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm here every day, no matter how bad day is. Show up, put in the hours, learn something new every day. For so long, I kept losing and losing, but I kept showing up until boom. Exactly. It's not rocket science. Look what Stanley Druckenmiller says right here. Here, where is it? Where's my little right here? It wasn't about IQ. Now I'm going to tell you something else. I'm going to tell you something else. And folks, by the way, and Richard, the last thing I want you to, this is not, I'm not saying anything negative, but I've been around this many, 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 many years. And the best traders are not the guys who are the guys with the highest IQ. Now, does that mean the best traders are stupid? Of course not. They're very smart. That's not the point. The point is, it's not your IQ that's stopping you. You don't have to be Kevin Hassett or Charles Calamirez. You don't have to be me. You don't have to get 167 on the LSAT to be a good trader. Some of the best traders I've ever seen. Now, I'm going to tell you who the best trader I've ever seen in my life was. He was a roofer. He was a roofer. He wasn't a post PhD in math. He was a roofer. A roofer. You guys understand that? Doesn't mean he was stupid. He was very smart, but he was a roofer. Richard helps his wife helps his Richard helps his wife manage a business. We're not talking about like post PhDs in math here. And by the way, I'm in that ballpark. I'm no Bill Gates in terms of intelligence. So the point is it's not your mind that's stopping you. It's not the intelligence that's stopping you. It's the emotional part of your brain. Okay? You don't have to be like the best red guy in the world. You don't have to be a math whiz. As a matter of fact, I could tell you that people who are overly intelligent have a much more difficult time learning how to trade because they're used to succeeding all the time. Okay? So, folks, this is really, really important. It's not like one of those things where, well, yeah, it'll make a little difference in your trading. No, it's going to make a difference between you being 100% successful and you being 100% failure. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Old personal issues. Hey, Moondog, good to see you here. All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. Let me give you some links. Let me give you some links. Um, Here, this is a class that Kane is having at 1 p.m. today. It's emotional control, a lot more emotional control than intelligence. And I know a lot of smart people that don't have good emotional control, by the way, because everything comes fast for them, so they don't have patience. Here, I'm telling you, I know a little bit about this stuff. I've been around this block a few times. Yeah, yeah. Here is VIP room where I'll be talking about a lot of stuff today. A lot of stuff today. And most importantly, let me give you a link to Customer Service Live. Do you guys know who's going to be there today on Customer Service Live? Can anybody guess who's going to be there today on Customer Service Live at 11 o'clock? Thank you, Dr. Serena. Can anybody guess? Let's see. Can anybody guess who's going to be there today? Talking about day trading for 1 hour. Can anybody tell me? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, and then we're going to get to the catalyst. That's right, me. That's right. I'm going to be in Customer Service Live from, that's right. I'm going to be there from 10 to 11 today. So as soon as I get to work, I'll be going right into Customer Service Live. All right. So I'll be there today. And again, here is the link. All right. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. What are the catalysts for today? I already wrote them down so you guys don't think I'm cheating. I already wrote them down right here. So, what are the catalysts for today? That's right, Bob. You were the first. No, no, me, Jody. It's not Kate today. It's me. Today, I'm going to be there. You said to read Mind Traps 5 times. What is Mind Traps? Jim, call customer service and tell them Roger said for you to get Mind Traps. If you have Trading Pit, then you already have it. But if not, just ask them to give you Mind Traps, okay? It's a little booklet that I wrote. Mm-hmm. That's right. Come on, guys. What's all right? We got Cisco, bond yield, Fed data, continuing joy over China. You know what? You actually almost got it right. No, not Tom. No, no. Rich doing great this morning. Good drugs. Bob. Yeah, I was actually gonna send you an email, but I saw you yesterday. I mean, here, so I figured you were okay. Indicator suggesting there's at least a short-term decline in front of us. Catalyst, Walmart, Fed's warning. Let's see. Let's see. Come on, guys. Anybody else? Come on. What are the catalysts today? What are the catalysts? It's Friday. What are the catalysts today? Does anybody know what the catalyst is today? All right. So China is back. We're concerned. China concerns are back on investors' mind after 3 days or 4 days. The bond market after the Fed's commentary and after the news yesterday that interest rates may be going down soon. Remember, I told you I believe it's going to happen before the end of summer. Applied Materials, negative earnings on chip stocks, and consumer sentiment report, which comes out a little later today. So I want you to see, I wrote it down right here. I want to see if you guys could see it right there. China, right here. China, right? Sorry, it's hard for me to go backwards here. Right there. Applied Material, China, right here. China, bonds, applied material, chips, consumer sentiment. I wrote that before coming here, okay? I always try to do this so you guys don't think I'm cheating, okay? I always do that so you don't think I'm cheating. Now, Jody, you mentioned housing starts. That could also be a potential catalyst. Potential. That's a question mark. Depends on how bad it is. But right now, that could be. So you're not off, Jody. You're not off. But consumer sentiment, China. We're back on fears over China. Remember what I told you? Catalysts usually last 2 to 3 days. Today is already day number 5. It already was waning yesterday. China was already down yesterday. China, renewed fears over China. The fact that that economy may be going into a recession, we may have to lower interest rates. By the way, that's what drove the market higher yesterday. Fallout from Applied Materials, as I warned you, which will impact other chip stocks, and consumer sentiment with a possible dash real housing starts, depending on how bad it is, because that will impact consumer stocks. Folks, please, every day when you come here, like our friend from Puente Gorda is doing, take a few minutes and write down. It's usually 2 to 4 things. If it's more than 4 or 5 things, you're probably overdoing it. If it's less than 2 things, you're probably not seeing it, or it's a holiday. Okay? There's usually 2 to 4 catalysts per day. Try every day to find the top 3 things that are moving the market. You will be amazed at how much better you will become analyzing the market. I'm doing this for you every single day now. That's how we start off, because I'm realizing that you guys are just you're not focused on it. So please focus on it. Housing starts, it's how many Stacy, housing starts, it's how many homes they're building and they started building, excuse me, and then how many are under permit. So you could see whether they're following through or stalling. And then you could see if they're still getting permits. In other words, you could see how hungry housing market is. And it's very important because the housing market determines consumer spending. You know, when people buy homes, they typically buy cars, they buy furniture, they change school. That's like a big part of a person's life cycle when they buy a house. So it's really, really important. Folks, how about some thumbs up? I know it's Friday. I know you guys are tired. I know it's been a tumultuous week. How about some thumbs up right here? Please, if you don't mind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. But again, that could, housing starts, I don't think it could go either way. But I don't want you to overdo it. So, China, bonds, applied material, consumer sentiment. Okay. Let's get into all of this. We're going to be coming off of applied material earnings. We already had Walmart. We already had Walmart earnings before the open yesterday, so that's already been priced into the market. But Applied Materials has not, because that came out after the close. If you see market trading after a catalyst has been announced, that usually means that catalyst is priced in. Now, we could be seeing more downside as a result of Walmart, but I didn't see that yesterday. So the catalysts right now are renewed fear over China, the bond market, Applied Material forward slash chips, and Fed data at 10 o'clock. Let's just leave it at that. All right. US dollar. What's the US dollar doing? Have you guys noticed? US dollar is not going higher. US dollar is actually going lower. Remember, I told you there's a good chance we could be topping out right here. We could be topping out right here. Very possible, Jeff. I'm in the same ballpark as you regarding the housing market. And by the way, folks, usually housing market slowdowns, they're not month to month. They're like 6 months to a year, sometimes a year and a half. So when the housing market slows down, it slows down. It's not like the stock market that just goes up, hot, cold. It doesn't do that. You see this? I don't like this. I don't like this. This is not good. This is not good. But we're still above one. There's a good chance we could be coming down here below this line, but I'm just letting you know right now that the U.S. dollar is not giving us directional bias, and it's not buying strength in the U.S. economy. Okay, that's right, Jeff. It needs a catalyst. It needs a catalyst, but nothing on the horizon for the U.S. dollar. What would be a great catalyst is if some of these trade deals came through, pushing the trade deals down the road 90 days, basically pushing the can down the road isn't really going to help us out. Hey, Ray, how are you? Welcome, Ray. You must be new here. I'm not used to seeing your name here. Ray Pirelli, welcome, welcome. Parker, focus on the housing starts and durable goods to help gauge everything. It's not the worst indicator, Parker. They see cloudy skies ahead. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. Fed says they see cloudy. That big change from 6 days ago. It's very interesting, folks. I just want to remind you, last Wednesday, when the Fed didn't do anything, they said very clearly there are no clouds on the horizon. As soon as they made the decision not to do anything, 6 days later, there are clouds on the horizon. Have we had any data, Fed data? As a matter of fact, the only Fed data we had was positive. So all of a sudden, with positive Fed data from 6 days ago, we went from there's no clouds on the horizon. Oh, there are clouds on the horizon. Isn't it amazing how 6 days without any major fundamental data can shift the Fed's opinion? But they're not political. Nah, there's nothing. It's based on real data, right? 6 days, 6 days. No clouds in the sky, clouds in the sky. 6 days, folks. Don't get me started. Those rascals. Folks, I'm not easy on anybody. Not the president, not the Fed, not myself. Nobody gets a break from Uncle Roger. Well, me and Clyde get a break. Yeah. Well, because of the bond market. The bond market. Richard, you and I were actually all over that the other day. The bond market. The bond market went like bat out of hell yesterday. So I'm concerned about the US dollar. I'm very concerned about the US dollar. Bitcoin is in a hurry up and wait mode. Okay, it's not really doing anything. There's a good chance it'll consolidate here. As long as it stays above the 8-day EMA, I'm okay with it. And if the US dollar sees more pressure, we should see more upside from Bitcoin because folks will not want to put their money in the US dollar. They will be much better off on Bitcoin because there's just a lot of stuff going on. Ooh, a lot of notes. No, that's what makes me think that the market has to come back to earth. Welcome. Be sure to click thumbs up. Scuba, I love the Scuba Chris. Maybe the Fed went to the eye doctor. Right, Chris? Stacy, do you think they give in to Trump because they are afraid of whatever I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I just my job is not to I don't know. I don't know, but I just know that 6 days ago there was no clouds in the sky. Now there's clouds in the sky. But not 6 days ago. And by the way, CPI and PPI both got better. But then there was clouds in the sky. I, No, Coinbase is it's a private matter. Coinbase that's a private security issue. That's not a fundamental shift in crypto. Now, I want to tell you guys something. You know when Bitcoin is going to be in deep doo-doo? Do you know what's going to be the worst day for Bitcoin? When they can crack and find a way to steal somebody's coins. The way that Bitcoin got busted, somebody busted their technology, Coinbase's technology, not the fundamental principles based on how cryptos are made. Big difference. Big difference. So it doesn't really impact the fundamental theory of privacy in Bitcoin, you see. I got an email about that. Training, I am contractor, third grade average. If I can do it, you can do it. There you go, Eagle Beagle. Eagle Beagle. Some of my best traders are contractors, roofers, people that some of my best traders are regular blue collar folks. The people that have the hardest problem are people that have advanced degrees because they can't understand, they can't accept being wrong. It's hard for smart people to accept being wrong. People who aren't that smart, they're like, duh, I'm just not that smart. I'm just gonna accept it. But people who are very smart, people who are very smart, they 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 like to extrapolate, come up with because they're not used to failing, you see. So if you're used to having a hard time, then it'll be like, okay, this is like everything else. But if you're used to being successful and picking everything up, then this is like a crush to your ego. And if you've never been wrong before, you know, a lot of lawyers, doctors, whatever, it can be very devastating. Now, not for everybody, but I'm just telling you that in my 31 years of teaching this and doing this, the people that tend to pick this up the best are just regular, everyday folks regular everyday folks like my parents like me just regular everyday folks. Okay, all right, let's continue. So Bitcoin, not much going on right now. China is not really doing anything. It's not up anymore. It's not the fun is over. Look, but we are still above the 8-day AMA. Basically China is not really giving us much follow through right now. All right, if you can learn from your failure instead of emotional reaction, you can learn to trade. Exactly. Have you guys ever seen how Matt trades? He's got like no emotions. Like there's no emotions. Do you guys ever see me in when we're in a position if it's moving our way or against me? Have you ever seen how I react? Have you ever seen a change in me? You wouldn't know if I'm in losing $1 million or if I'm gaining $1 million. Okay? You would not know it. Do you guys want to hear a story? A real story? A story for my story? I never shared these stories with you, okay? I'll give you a really quick story, okay? Back in 2006, I was the biggest corn trader in the world, okay? When in 2006, I was the biggest corn trader in the world. I just got my wife a new Escalade, and we decided to take our friends to Las Vegas. And my buddy, one of my buddies and I were sitting in the back seat and we were watching, you know, this was 2006 Escalades. It was a beautiful white Escalades. They had those TVs in the back. So my kids used to sit in the back. So there was all these kid videos. So we were watching Ratatouille and Nemo, you know, on video. And we're driving to Las Vegas for 4 hours. Okay. I'm talking this is before phones. This is phones. So I'm talking to my broker, my floor broker in Chicago. Between the time, between the time, um, between the time that we left from Los Angeles and we got to Las Vegas, I made over $1 million on the position for my account, not for anybody else, for me. I was sitting in the back seat. Nobody in the car saw, including my wife, saw any shift in my emotional makeup. Now, let me ask you guys a question. If you made $1 million while on a vacation driving to Las Vegas from Los Angeles, do you think it may lighten your mood a little bit? Maybe celebrate a little bit? Maybe do something? Nobody in the car knew what happened. True story. As strike me as true story. That's a true story. That's a true story. All right, let's continue. Bond market's going up. This is bond market's going up right now, and interest rates are going down because there's fear that the Fed is going to lower rates. I do believe the Fed is going to lower rates this summer. I told you that before. I believe they're going to. I believe they're going to. Uh, is it good? Well, it's not good. It's actually very bad because they're trying to avoid a recession. So the fact that they're going to lower rates means that economy is getting weaker. So this is not great. True story, folks. True story. So after we got to Vegas, we went to Bellagio, and I bought my wife very quietly a Christian Dior bag for about $1,000, and that was the end of that story. Just in case you guys want to know how the story ended, that's how the story ended. All right, same thing, Kirk. You wouldn't know it. It didn't matter. You wouldn't know it. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't have any emotional. There's no. It's like a number. It's like, okay, red car passed, blue car passed, yellow car passed. It doesn't. There's. It's just an accounting number. It doesn't mean anything. Eagle, we have like the highest winning percentage rate of most folks. We do. We do. I get like really good testimonials. Um, So bond market's moving up. This is positive for the stock market in the short term, but in the long term, this is not good because it's moving up for the wrong reason. Okay, crude oil. Crude oil went up. Looks like it could be coming down a little bit more. We're right now at the VWAP. I would say we got some more downside, but I think we're going to stay in this area. Yep, that's it. Yeah, it was Refco. Penny, it was Refco. It wasn't Man. It was before Refco went bust and was bought out by EF Man. So it was like a year and a half before EF Man took over. All right. I don't gamble. I don't gamble, Bob. I don't gamble. Coming to terms with trading being probability job, that means you will win and lose is the first place to reconcile. That's right. So, folks, be careful. We may be going down on crude oil. What about gold? I got a couple of good emails, including Richard yesterday, that made money on gold. Do you remember what I said? I want to see consolidation around here. Well, guess what we're seeing? We're seeing a consolidation around here. Now, I told you it's okay to create starter positions yesterday. I also said very clearly, don't add to your position till we're trading above the 8-day EMA. We're not trading above the 8-day EMA right now. Okay? So we're still guessing. We don't want to be in a big position while we're guessing. We want to trade back up here in this area above the 8-day EMA. So please hold on to your starter positions till we get above this area. Okay? What ticker is good for gold? There's several, but GLD's fine. GLD. Yes, I said to nibble. I said starter position. I said starter position. Starter position. Rich took a starter position yesterday in gold. Look, let me show you. Here's Richard's position yesterday. Where's my screen? There's his position in gold right there. up $7,630. Profits so far. Got a resistance. What did I say? There's a resistance level. There is. There is. See, first entry, second entry. Remember somebody teaching you about liquidity pockets, folks? Do you remember this? Right by the straight by the rules. Now, Richard made $7,000 yesterday by me telling him that we have a starter position here. Now, Richard, Bob, and God knows everybody else will tell you that I've been telling folks it's time to buy gold when we're near the 31, 32 level. I've been saying it since we were up here. But how many of you did that? Yeah, I don't gamble. I may play. I used to count cards when I was a kid. When I was 17 and 18 years old, we used to count cards in Las Vegas. I got burnt out of that by the time I was 22. And so if I go to Las Vegas, I will play $20 on at the bar they have those electric pokers that have like you can play blackjack, poker, whatever you want. That's what I'll play for $20. And my wife will pay about $30 and then she'll complain about how she lost it all. Thank you, Dr. Serena. Higher yield is no good. No, higher yield is no good. Okay. So crude oil holding steady in this area. Gold, it's okay to nibble, but not go in. We want to go in when we're above the 8-day EMA. So no part two. There's a resistance level right here. Right here. You could see it right here, actually. It's a resistance level right there and right here. No soup till we're over here on this side of the fence. All right, let's put everything together. Yeah, video poker. That's it. Video poker. Oh. Times also yesterday still have both positions. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's put everything together. Benchmark index set one of its strongest weeks this year. We haven't had a strong year, so that's not really here or there that we had a really strong week. As U.S.-China trade truce continues to bolster sentiment, that's not true. They're not bolstering sentiment anymore. That actually stopped 2 days ago, and you could see it right here. It was bolstered, and now it hasn't been bolstered. And for 48 hours, it hasn't been bolstered already. Okay? U.S. equity futures drew support from falling Treasury yield, which continues their slide from Thursday after the latest economic data that came out 6 days after they said everything is fine, fueled speculation that the Fed may cut rates earlier than expected to avoid a recession. But 6 days ago, everything was fine. Just want you to know, 6 days ago, everything's beautiful. 6 days later, and after positive CPI and PPI, see, I don't let anybody off the hook. If anybody starts bullshitting, president, the Fed, Powell, me, I'm going to be there and I'll catch you red-handed. All right? No, I'm not. It's a Friday. Usually we peter out by Friday at 2 o'clock, unless bonds. Keep an eye on bonds today. But I'll get into all of that. So 2 days, 6 days ago, everything was peachy, but now we have a fear of a recession. What scoundrels! Cisco up over 4%. That's already priced into the market because that happened yesterday. Foot Locker, we made money on Dick's yesterday. We made money on Baba yesterday. You're all welcome. Did you guys made money on Baba and in the pit yesterday and Dick's? We went on double whammy yesterday in the pit, made money on both. You're welcome. You're welcome. United Health plunged even more. Possible Medicare fraud. Oy vey. When you hear stuff like this, better than expected Fed data, better than expected, but their statement was now we see clouds on the horizon. 6 days ago, there was no clouds on the horizon. And after positive CPI, PPI, now there's clouds on the horizon. No, I'm not letting it go. I am not letting those scoundrels go. Look at how I highlighted this thing. Jerome Powell said on Thursday policymakers are considering adjustments to their key elements of a framework that guides their monetary decisions. Why didn't he say this 6 days ago? Including their perspective on U.S. employment shortfalls. I didn't hear anything about U.S. employment shortfalls 6 days ago. And their strategy for achieving inflation. I thought everything was right on target. What happened in 6 days, buddy? Now look at this. Fed Governor Michael Barr, look what he says. The economy remains on solid footing. Okay, great. That's what you said 6 days ago. But cautioned that tariff related supply chain disruptions could lead to slower growth and higher inflation. But you didn't see that 6 days ago. What happened? You cleaned your glasses, Michael? Did you clean your glasses? It's 6 days to clean your glasses? 6 days ago, you didn't say that. What happened in 6 days after positive Fed data, by the way, not to add insult to injury? I give up. 91% chance that they're not going to do anything in June, but I think they're going to do something. I wanted to say July, but they're not meeting in July, so I'm going to say August. But I did tell you that I think they're going to take action in the summer. And I told you for a while now that I think they were only off by 1 quarter. So I don't think that the timing is that significant. I told you all this stuff. So we got consumer sentiment, which comes out, I believe, at, let's see, does it come out at 8:30 or 10 o'clock? Hold on. Oh, no, you guys were right. Consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. Got it. Housing starts slightly lower than expected, right on par. No, this is nothing. This is nothing. Slightly off, slightly above. I mean, slightly off, slightly off. Look at this. 6.2, 6.1, 4.5. Very little. Not positive, very little, but negative. But not enough to cause a major nothing crazy here. By the way, let me give you some links. Folks, I will be doing a lot of talking about a lot of things that you want to know about today in the VIP room. Let me tell you what I'll be doing in the VIP room today. In case you guys are curious, we're going to talk about how to prepare yourself mentally every day in the morning. I'm going to talk about the 20 major sectors. I'm going to talk about avoiding false breakout part 2. I'm going to talk about how to balance your longs and shorts. We haven't talked about that in a while. I know we have a lot of new people. And how key into real diversification and avoiding correlation. A lot of you are not even in the right ballpark. Richard's problem last year was he was too correlated and he had too many positions. I pointed that out to Richard. He's working on it right now and he's doing a much better job. And he's realizing he doesn't need to have 100 positions on to make his 10,000 a day or 5,000 a day. Right, Richard? So there's still some tweaks. We still have to work with a lot of things that Richard's doing. I don't know what Mr. Hand. I don't know what they're doing. But I know that Richards, I told him, you got to work on your correlation and your diversification. And he's doing exactly that. And he's doing a great job. And we'll talk about that today. And Richard, if you're going to be there today at noon, you usually are, please chime in. It'll be fantastic. I'm going to talk about your situation and just very generally, it'll be very interesting. Market participants will hear from Mary Dolly. Now, I thought she was supposed to speak. Let me see. I thought she was supposed to speak yesterday. Did she not speak yesterday, or she's doing a double whammy here? I don't know why she has to speak twice in 1 week. But here we are. Yep, there he is. Yep, getting much better. Yeah, he is. He's getting much better. All right, let's continue. Europe is up a hair. Fifth straight week of gains, easing global tension, also sentiment corporate earnings season came in better than expected. Healthcare, food, beverage stocks led to gains. That's actually pretty defensive. China. Now I want to read something to you in big letters. China composite closed lower as renewed U.S.-China trade tension. What? Let's go back up here. U.S.-China trade truce continues to bolster sentiment. Well, this is the same guy writing this, right? Alexander Pilpenko? I think he's Ukrainian. I think. I don't know for sure. You see this? Bolster sentiment, right? What is he writing here? Renewed U.S.-China trade tension. So are we bolstering sentiment or is there renewed trade tension? There's renewed trade tension. And they're closing lower. A disappointing earnings report from Alibaba weighted on sentiment. It did. Liquor and insurance stocks outperformed Friday. Folks, Philip Morris, liquor, all these stocks, remember it started going up again yesterday? That's defensive. Liquor and insurance is defensive. WRB is the number one stock on my list right now, which we'll get into in a few minutes. So, renewed US-China trade tension. What was my catalyst today? What does this say right here in big letters? China. See, these are my catalysts. I wrote them down for you right there, right there, so you could see them. It's just tension. There's tension on China. China is down. China is down. Yesterday was down. Today down. That's not positive. Before and after 3 shots of scotch. All right, let me give you links to Kane's class, Face-Off. This will be a lot of fun. Face-Off class. And also, remember, you're going to have a special surprise today in Customer Service Live. This Nutnik is going to be there talking about all sorts of stuff, giving you guys a headache. So make sure you attend. His initials are same as mine. Paul, take a look at WRB. Well, we're going to look at it in a minute. All right, let's continue. Japan ended flat. Not a lot of bolstering from global economy. Chip stocks led the decline on Friday. Folks, what usually happens when chip stocks are bearish? Retail and pharmaceuticals outperform. That's good, but they're flat. So let's see. Europe up a hair, up 0.59, not a big move. China down and Japan flat, and it's Friday in the US. There you go, Eagle Beagle. Me too. I'm with you on that. Charter Communication rose 6%. This was a stock on our watch list yesterday. Vista, we may have more nuclear news today. We may have some positive nuclear. I love saying nuclear because you know what this is. It's a utility stock. But all of a sudden, they're nuclear stocks. So chip stocks are AI stocks, and utility stocks are nuclear stocks. You got it, folks? It's not chip stocks, it's AI. And it's not utility. It's not boring utility anymore. It's nuclear stocks. I love it. I love marketing. What's the big catalyst today? Right here. What's the big catalyst? So we have a slump in China, we have higher yield, and we have negative applied materials. You can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be looking at SMH today for downside. And by the way, a lot of people thought yesterday the reason we were up. Oh, by the way, this stock has been on my short list, Docs, and it's down 21% after earnings. One of the few short stocks. Now, a lot of folks believed yesterday the market went up because mega caps were rallying. Folks, mega caps did not rally yesterday. Mega caps were down over 1% yesterday. Okay? They are not rallying. The reason the market went up yesterday, because the bond market rallies. If you look at RSP, blue chips, they broke out yesterday. Look. Blue chips, RSP. Look at mags. Here. Look at mags. Do you see a higher high here? No. This is the higher high. You see the little swing here? That's the highest high, not this. Look at RSP. What happens when tech is no longer leading? Now look at this. Look at where we are this morning. You see the round? That's a higher high. So you got to break out on equal weighted stuff. But why is the equal weighted doing better than the other one? Well, let's take a look. Is QQQ making a higher high? Slightly, just by a hair. What about the Dow? Let's look at the Dow. Mags are not that sharp right now. Dow's not really doing anything. And either is IWM. Nope. Now, let's see what sectors are leading. And by the way, volatility still going down, which is positive. That's positive. Very positive. Let's see. 52-week highs. How many did we have yesterday? 57. How many we have today? 73. What about 20-week highs? 44, we have 67. What about 50-day highs? 151, we had 152. Oh, so the 50-day high is not getting any higher. How about 90-day high? We have 117. Yesterday we had 81. So we're at a reasonable momentum level. We've got some momentum. Let's look at 20-day highs so you could see. They haven't really changed. 321, 333. They actually went down. So momentum is just kind of sitting there, waiting. Hurry up and wait. That's right, Richard. That's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. All right, folks, have you given us some thumbs up? Let's see, how many thumbs up do we have? Mm-hmm. 251. How about some thumbs up? Let's see if we can get a 300 today. All right. All right. So let's see which sectors are leading. Is technology still leading or is it starting to fall off? Let's take a look. All this is very important. We got to play investigator here. Semiconductors, technology, consumer discretionary, QQQ, retail. Looks good. Looks good. Looks really good. The question is it going to remain there? But so far, we're there. The only thing that's not there is communication and industrials falling off. But this has got, we still are leading, technology is still leading. Let's see if it continues leading into today. So, folks, caution, 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 small size, caution. Let me give you stocks that I like today. WRB, caution. Look at this. What do we call this? What do we call this? There's a name for this. TD. I mentioned this yesterday. This would have been a perfect time to get in. MNST. Thank you, Roger, for giving us a nice profit on Monster Beverage yesterday. You're welcome. Still good. Still looks good. VRSN. Possible A line here. That's right. An A line. That's right. VRSN and WRB are A lines right now. That's right. Let me make sure I tell Matt about it. Yep. Check out WRB and VRSN, both coming back nicely. My comment to him at 7:52 this morning. Folks, I can't be any more transparent. GE, a little overextended. A little overextended, but I'm still looking at it. TJ Maxx, I thought this is interesting. Nice breakout right here. I would wait for it to be at the 8 right here, but I like this. I like what I'm seeing here. IBM. Good for you, Gregory. Then you're in profit today. IBM, CPRT looks fantastic. HWM. I like this. I like this. Let me circle it. I'll be watching this stock carefully. Let me go back to CPRT. This looks nice. This looks really nice. Like, can't you tell what stocks I'm really liking, guys, based on seeing like my reactions and the fact that I'm circling, and Netflix looks pretty nice. I told you that yesterday. ED looks really nice. Oh, wrong stock. Sorry, wrong stock. What is that? Oh, hold on a second. Was it maybe HD? Hold on. Am I losing my mind? No, forget about that. Forget about both of that. I got something wrong there. MasterCard is starting to come out, which is not a bad sign. Nice little breakout here. Not overextended, by the way. And ICE with a profit target right about 180. Heard it from me. There you go. There you go. Let's do the short side. APLC. APLS, I'm sorry, APLS. First time I'm ever talking about the stock here ever before. I've never talked about the stock here, right? How about HP? Never talked about this stock here either, right? Never, never, never. How about SRPT? I've never mentioned that one either, right? We didn't trade this one in the pit, did we now? And how about this one? This is a new one. Icon, Carl Icon. Yeah, the 600 Club. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, folks, I got to get to work. I'm going to the office. Let me give you some links once again. Don't miss out Trader Kane at 1 p.m. Folks, did you benefit from this session? If you did, I can't wait to share some more goodies with you in the VIP room. And remember, I'll be in customer service live at 11 a.m. Let me give you the link for that. It's going to be a busy day for Uncle Roger today. Here's the link, customer service live. We'll be there at 11. So, what's the deal for today, folks? I think the market's going to be choppy today. I'm not seeing strong directional bias. To me, this is not a very strong move right here. We still haven't come back here. I want to see consolidation around here. I don't believe this. I want to see a test of this level. This is too much too fast. I don't like this. There's a lot of stocks on the short side. There's a lot of stocks on the long side. We have a mixed market right now. Be very, very cautious with this. Also, the fact that Dow Jones is just kind of stinking around here. The fact that the fact that mags are not cooperating very much, and the fact that Applied Material had bad earnings is not good either. I would be very, very cautious today. Be very, very cautious. We're going to have a two-sided market. If I see something, I will let you know. Please keep your eye on the Telegram channel all day long. And I hope this has been super helpful to you. And remember, folks, if you want to know the real secret behind profitable trading, beyond what I teach you, it's right here between your ears. Just waiting for you to grab it by the, you know what. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a fantastic day and happy Friday. I'll update you everything. I haven't done the pit update for the last 3 weeks over the weekend. I totally forgot. I guess Clyde's been slacking off. So I'll do it for you for the last 3 weeks today. Okay? SPY, choppiness, guys. Choppiness. Bye, guys. Take care. Have a great day. And don't forget, Customer Service Live. Uncle Roger will be there at 11 talking about day trading. Bye. Be careful, folks. We usually fizzle out by 2 o'clock on Friday. I'll see you guys later. I'll be busy during the first half of the session, and then I have nothing after the afternoon. So I'll be around, and Matt will be glued to the day trading screen as usual. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for being here. Love you all, and thank you for the